guys, this is Mary. You're watching Cardz TV. I love fall. It's just the best season, I think, because the temperatures have cooled down, but it's not really cold, and all the beautiful colors of fall. I love everything about it. And my favorite holidays are in the fall, Thanksgiving, and I love Halloween. And I think a lot of y'all do too. And I love the smell of wood smoke. Oh, I could just go on, but I better not because I want to make a card today. But I've just been dying to use this mat stack that I picked up at Joann's. It's called Harvest Gathering. It's from Die Cuts with a View, and it has got the most beautiful papers in it. Just gorgeous. Love all the colors, and some of them have foil. Don't know if you can see that or not. Don't know if the camera's picking it up. Glitter, and this is raised. All the little polka dots are raised with glitter. Look at these foil pine cones. Beautiful colors. Look at that one. Kind of a paisley with leaves. This has glitter. Love, love, love these. These would make great masculine cards. I can just see this like folded up into one of those little origami shirts. Lots of leaves. Look at this glittered pumpkin. Orange, brown, little black. Love them. Anyway, I decided I was going to use this to make a card. And I haven't done anything with any of the digital stamps from Digital Delights in a while. And Wendy has this adorable Mr. Straw. And I picked up Mr. Straw, and I got the colored version, because this is going to be a really quick, simple card. And I printed Mr. Straw out at 2.10 by 2.48. And I took a 3-inch circle punch. This is a Marvy punch. And I punched him out. So he's going to go on the front of our card. And out of this mat stack, I've picked this beautiful plaid. I love that. And I think Mr. Straw is going to look real nice on there. And we're going to use some ivory and black. And maybe some marigold. Kind of pick that up. And I want to use some twine and buttons and just all kinds of fun things for fall. So I'm going to get everything cut out and ready to put together. And we're going to put together a fall card using Mr. Straw from Digital Delights. Okay, we're going to have an ivory card base. And this is a portrait style card. So I cut my paper, or my cardstock, at 4 1/4 by 11. I scored it at 5 1/2, and when it's folded, it makes a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch portrait style card. On top of that, we're going to put a black mat, and this is 4 by 5 1/4. And then we're going to put our plaid on top of the black. Now, I didn't leave a very big border because the black is mostly just to make the plaid stand out from the ivory background. So the plaid was cut at 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And we're going to go ahead and adhere the plaid to the black mat. And we'll use the ATG gun for that. Okay, we're not going to adhere this to our card just yet because I want to go ahead and put the sentiment on here. But first, let me show you what we're going to do with Mr. Straw. Like I said, I printed him at 2.18 by 2.48 and punched him out with a 3-inch punch. I then used elegant edges, and you know I can't do anything anymore without using elegant edges. It just seems that way. I love that cartridge. But I went to page 23, and I used scallop number 1 right down here. And I cut this scallop at 3 1/4 inches. And he's cut at 3, so it works out just right. I don't want him to have too much of a scallop since he is Mr. Straw and not Miss Straw. So I don't want him to look too feminine. But we're going to adhere that together to go on the front. Okay, we've got Mr. Straw ready to go on the front, but we're not going to put him on just yet. I am going to lay him there so that I can decide where I want to put my sentiment. And what I did for my sentiment, I didn't have a stamp that said Happy Fall, y'all. I thought I did, but I didn't. So I had to use the center point feature. And I used Tags, Bags, Boxes, and More. That's an oldie but a goodie. In fact, it may have been discontinued. So I'm hoping that y'all can find this on another cartridge or this shape. But this is just a little like slide that you can put your sentiment on. And rather than use ribbon, I used some twine from the Twinery, and this color is called Cappuccino. I love that. It's so pretty. And it wasn't easy to get this through there, let me tell you. 3 strands of twine through that little tiny slit, but I did it. And also I've got this on one piece of foam tape because I want the center to stand up just a little bit. But you'll find this little tag in Tags, Bags, Boxes, and More. That's on page 102, and I cut this one right down here, and I cut it at 3/4 of an inch. And I used the center point feature, like I said. I first printed my sentiment on the computer on some ivory cardstock, and then used the the Cricut to cut it out. And the sentiment is Menu Nouvelle, and it's at 16 points, and it fit perfectly on here. If I'd made it any bigger, I think it probably wouldn't have lined up as well. But I'm really liking that center point feature, and it's getting easier and easier to use all the time. It's like the more I use it, the better I get at it. But this turned out pretty good. And I wanted the strands of twine to be separated, so I went ahead and put a little bit of adhesive underneath on top of the ends of the tag and went ahead and stuck these down. And I want to get it kind of centered between Mr. Straw and the bottom of the card. So I think it needs to go right about there. So I'm going to go ahead and take the backing off of this foam tape. That's another reason I put it on here, because I can go ahead and stick it down on the front and make sure that it's exactly where I want it. I think that's about right. And now when I flip it over on the back, all I have to do is make sure I've still got my strands separated when I put my ATG tape on here. And I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then bring the strands of twine around, and they'll just go ahead and stick right into the tape. And we'll get this put on the front of our card. Okay, we've got our sentiment on the front and got our mats adhered to the card, and I really like the way the twine stayed separated. I like that a lot. Now I've got Mr. Straw on 2 thicknesses of foam tape, and we're going to go ahead and get him centered. See what a quick and easy little card this is? I love it. I love the colors. And I think it needs a little button somewhere. But I don't know where I'm going to put it. Maybe right up here. That kind of draws your eye in. Okay, let me get my glue dots, and I'll decide if I'm going to put a button on here or not. Well, you know me, I decided to go with 2 buttons, and these are not the same button that I had before. These are kind of a burnt orange, and they have a little bit of brown embroidery floss through there, which matches the twine. But here's a quick, simple little fall card. Love it. Using Digital Delights from Luby Lou, Mr. Straw. And I used the Cricut cartridge Tags, Bags, Boxes, and More for my sentiment. I used Elegant Edges for the scallop. And my papers are from Basil and Die Cuts with a View. And I'll have all the cut sizes and all the supplies used at the end of this video, as well as a link for you to go over to Digital Delights by Luby Lou so you can see what else Wendy has for fall. But I just love Mr. Straw. He's so cute, and I love the colors in there. Thanks so much for coming by today, guys. It's been fun, and I'll see you again really soon. Bye now.